Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is a Clash of Kings, chapters 27, 28, and 29. Daenerys, Bran, and Tyrion. In these chapters,
Daenerys is feeling, Bran is feeling angry, and Tyrion is feeling himself.
the other day I was thinking, so pronouns, right? So there's
Yes.
if somebody like myself who uses gender neutral pronouns, it'll be like they, them, their, right? It's their chair or whatever. And for masculine pronouns, it'll be like he, him, his. But for feminine pronouns, it's she, her, her. It's her chair, there's no equivalent of his or their for feminine pronouns.
Yeah, I guess it's just hers, but I guess you wouldn't use that. You wouldn't say hers chair.
Hers chair.
Yeah, you would say
it's
that chair
hers,
is hers.
or it's his, or it's theirs. But anyway, so.
Oh yeah, because then you write she, her, her.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the thought of the day.
Her is it's just such a dynamic word. You use it in both cases, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so podcast. That's what we're doing. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Words.
Oh my
gosh. So I have a lot on top of me today. We were talking about how I don't have a lot on my plate because
there is
the
no
plate has disappeared
Yes,
along with any mental health and any hope I had in this world. And I'm struggling with the word forming and sound making machine.
Yes.
that
is your lyrics.
Yeah, that, sure. Also, I'm just coughing because we'll cut that out because nobody wants to hear 2 straight episodes of that. Yeah, don't laugh. We can't laugh today.
Hope you guys enjoyed the 5-minute laughing fit we had last time. That was interesting.
Okay. So, what did you think of these chapters, Harmit?
Oh my gosh, these were fun. I don't usually give Bran chapters enough credit, but this Bran chapter, I don't know why, but as I was reading it, I was just so into it. I was like, I love this chapter.
Glad.
I really liked this Bran chapter a lot. And then Tyrion and Daenerys' chapter was cool because it was a whole new city, and we haven't seen a new city in a while.
Right.
I guess the last time was when we met Stannis and them, but still, that city was just not that cool.
Right.
It was just lame.
Yeah.
But then with this city,
it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but then with this city, it was kind of ooh, okay, this is kind of cool. And then who else did we meet? Oh, Tyrion. And then
Tyrion is the default character,
yeah,
basically present in every one of our readings.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Tyrion's chapter was chill too, but I would say the other ones were more fun.
What was it about Bran's chapter that you enjoyed?
I knew you were gonna ask me this, and I was trying to think, and I don't really know. I think just I don't know. You probably wouldn't think this because of that one disastrous Bran dream chapters, but I do like thinking and talking about Bran's dreams, and I just feel in this chapter it was a combination of characters that I liked and concepts that I liked, and they just came together nicely.
He's kind of the mythical, like,
Yeah.
anchor point in the story. Like,
Yeah.
he himself isn't quite mythical, but, like, his dreams and then, like, all the stuff we learn about we're always, like, getting, like, histories of the children of the forest and whatever, so it is cool. I do like Bran chapters. And I'm actually glad you're enjoying them, because a lot of people kind of write them off the first time because they're, like, kind of, you know, not pertaining to, like, the main parts of the story.
If I was binge reading this, I wouldn't care about Bran chapters. You know what I mean? Because I'm binging through it. So I get why a lot of people kind of do that. Because a lot of people are probably binging on their first read. So
yeah, but, like, when you go back and you, like, see all the things and you're like, oh my god, he said that in, like, book 1, you know?
Yeah. I want to go back and read that Bran chapter.
Oh yeah, you should listen to our recording of it too, because you were like, so I think Ned's gonna die in the first chapter.
Was that when I said it? Oh, I thought I said that, like, right at the beginning, like, even before the, like, dream.
Oh no, yeah, I'm talking about the very first Bran chapter.
Oh, okay, I was talking about the dream Bran chapter.
Oh, you should read the dream Bran chapter, but, like, you should read it again after we're done reading the books, and then you'll know what I mean. You'll realize why I was freaking out.
Yeah.
Okay, so 30-second summary. That's right. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this one is okay. I'm not gonna panic, because when I panic, I forget everything.
You got this.
Ooh, panic has set in. That's okay.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, I already forget the name of the town. We get to the town, starts with the queue. We meet, like, 3 different kind of, like, types of people who are like, ooh, Dany, dragons. We meet the prince dude, and he's like, you can stay in my gigantic castle, which is bigger than anything you've ever seen. And then we have that other guy who's like, dude, I'm a warlock. I got you. I got you, whatever you need. And then eventually Jorah brings in that other dude who's like, dude, Robert's dead. And Dany's like, oh, Robert's dead. Dragons can die, but dragon slayers can die too. And she's like, ooh, okay.
Switch.
Maybe, Bran. Okay, yeah. Reeds. Yes. The Reeds are like, Bran, we know your little secret. When I felt, what's his dog's name? Oh my gosh, not his dog.
Summer.
Well, Summer, yes, thank you. Summer, he's like, dude, when I touched Summer, I felt you are Summer, Summer is you, y'all are connected, it's great. And he's like, no, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. There's no dreams. I never have any dreams. Definitely not daily. And then he talks to Lewin, and he's like, dude, are green seers a thing? Like, is this something I should be concerned about? And then he kind of takes Lewin's word for it.
Switch.
Like, nope. Tyrion. Tyrion is having a power trip in this chapter, okay? Lancel comes in, he's like, and then he pretty much, like, exposes Lancel, and he's like, you know, you really, I know the Robert thing, I know that you and Cersei are sleeping together, I will expose you if you try to threaten me. And then Lancel's like, sorry, and then he leaves, and then he's like, tell Cersei this in regard to her demands, and then he
okay, that's it.
Oh.
We'll get to that. Quickly, before we talk about any of that, I'm gonna, every episode after you summarize, I'm just gonna quickly ask you who died in these chapters. And if any named characters have died, you're just gonna tell us. Okay, so who died in these chapters?
I can't think. Did someone die in these chapters?
Well, the answer can be no one. I'm just gonna start asking it.
Okay, wait, give me a second. Oh my gosh, now, okay, who, what are these chapters? Oh, Dany. Did anybody die in the Dany chapter? I don't think, well, Robert died before.
Yeah, no, like, in the chapter.
Okay, and then.
Well, yeah, even if,
I don't think anybody died.
No, not that we know of.
Yeah, and then Tyrion chapter. Did anybody die? No?
Okay, all good.
Okay.
Trust me, I know this seems pointless right now, but it will bear some really juicy fruits in the future.
Okay. I'm gonna have a whole list of names to give you.
Yeah, okay, so, Daenerys.
Ignores my question. Okay. Okay, let me open the book up and we can get started. Alright. Am I starting or you?
You're starting.
Okay.
and I am filling in the blanks, and hopefully I won't get overexcited and take over.
Okay, so the city is Karth that I couldn't remember.
Yes. Oh my god, thank you for calling it Karth, because even the narrator says Korth, and I'm like, where in that do you see a U?
That makes no sense. I think the reason I was tripping up on the name was that because I don't know a lot of words that start with Q, so whenever I see Karth, the only other location I think of is like, got that? I always think of that, so I can't, like, in my brain, I was about to say, like, oh, Dany gets to, and then I was like, it's the wrong city, I can't remember the actual city, I know it starts with a Q, though. So anyway, Dany, and her, blood riders and her people get to Karth, and, like, she's kind of a big deal, They have, like, horns and, like, this whole thing, and everybody they're passing clearly knows that, like, this is, like, the Dragon Lady, and, like, everybody's heard the talk of the town. And so she's with, like, I guess Pyat Pri right now, and he's, like, bragging about how great Karth is, and he's like, it's the greatest city that ever will or has been, and it's the center of the world. And I tried to find it on the maps, and all I got was, it's not this way.
Yeah, it's not on the maps, unfortunately.
Maybe in, like, the next book.
It's just so far east. They're like, we ran out of map.
Okay, damn. I mean, pop off Karth, I guess. And so he's like, yeah. I love this little part where he was like, the guy, like, put out his own eyes because he would never see something as pretty. I was like, okay,
Sathos the wise.
Yeah, and Dany's like, okay, I don't know about that.
I don't know how wise he really was.
Yeah, exactly. But then she kind of, like, describes, like, the city's kind of, like, walls for us. So there's, like, 3 walls, and the outer one has, like, animals on it, and the middle wall has, like, a bunch of scenes of, like, war on it, and then the inner wall kind of shows, like, people having sex. And, like, with these walls, like, is this, like, their kind of, like, storytelling device and, like, keeping kind of, like, their history, or is it just, like, fictional? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. I mean, the walls, like, obviously they're like this, here's what we're about. Like, I don't know what the animals are, but they're, like, the war indicates to me, like, we will fight you, but also we will, while we're fighting you, we'll be enjoying ourselves carefree. I don't know. I don't know what the animals are about.
Yeah, okay, cool. And then she's also like, yeah, there's a lot of color in this city. Like, everything's colorful. She's like, wow.
Yeah. I actually meant to look up if, like, Karth has any, like, historical, like, semblance to anything historical, semblance, what? But I forgot. So I'm going to put that on my to-do list, and I will get back to you on that.
Sounds good. And she's kind of looking around at all the people, and she's like, wow, like, all of these people are, like, better dressed than us, and they're, like, everybody's kind of, like, equally, like, looks kind of sophisticated, and she's like, wow, we probably do not look that great to them.
Yeah. She says... so it says, Dany felt shabby and barbaric as she rode past them in her lion skin robe with black drogon on one shoulder. I'm like, okay, first off, if you remember this lion skin cloak, the way it is, like, the head is still there. So that's like her hood. So her hood is like a lion's head, and then it's like a whole fucking pelt. And then she has a dragon on her shoulder to top it all off. I mean... I don't...
How
shabby?
Do you top that?
Yeah, like...
I guess it's just, like, they're just all so, like, sophisticated that, like, even that isn't enough, you know?
But, yeah.
But, yeah, it's hard to imagine for sure, because you're like, what? Yeah. And then, so they're, like, going down the... Like, they pass through a bazaar, and they're, like, doing their thing. And then our lovely merchant prince, Zaro, comes in. And he's like, if you want anything, it's yours. And Pyat Pri's like, buddy, everything's already hers. Like, you can calm down. Stop trying to, like, be all that. You're not, okay?
Yeah.
And they both kind of have their, like, things. So Pyat Pri is like, the House of the Undying. And the prince is like, the 13 are here for you. Like, they'll get you a crown and this whole thing. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
This is kind of like their, like, I guess, like, organization structure in the city. They have like these different
yes, like what is it called? The
societies, I guess. Like
not the word I was thinking was like sanctions. Is that a word? No.
Does
different
it apply to this?
No, I'm thinking of like a similar thing, but I can't remember exactly what.
But yeah,
like basically Karth is a high school and these are the different cliques. That's what we're gonna
there
go
we
with.
go.
Until I remember the actual word I was trying to remember.
And Danny's like the new girl. I don't know why. Well, yeah, she is a girl. I was like, why did I go with girl? Because she is.
She's a girl.
No, because I was like, why did I just assume? And then I was like, we've established this.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was I trying to say? Oh, she's like the new girl who comes in who everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Like, I want to be friends with her. You know, she's that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but she's kind of like, okay, y'all can keep your stuff with you. I am trying to like take over the Seven Kingdoms. Like, that's my objective.
Like if you want to give me something, give me ships and people to fight. So
exactly. And they're like, oh yeah, we can do that. It's fine. And they're kind of like shading each other. They're kind of like, oh, you warlocks used to be a big deal, but like you ain't shit anymore. And they're like,
yeah,
you're just all talk and you know can't really do anything.
Which is interesting. Like later in the Bran chapter, the Maester is talking about how like, oh, all this magic and such was a thing, but it ain't no more. And Zaro's basically saying the same thing. Yeah. So, what do you think? Are they ain't no more, or are they? They? I don't know.
I think as a whole they ain't no more, but I don't agree with Lewin where he's like it's just non-existent, you know? I mean,
we've seen dragons and the White Walkers.
Yeah. I do think they are kind of putting up a front and kind of living in their like past glory. But I'm sure like, you know, there's a lot of them. I'm sure someone in there is capable of magic, I would assume. You know, like I don't think them as a whole is like, okay, like we're like doing
the whole organization. Yeah.
But I think like there's got to be people who are actually, you know, doing this.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. And then Jorah's kind of also Jorah criticizes both of them, and he's like,
I don't trust these people.
He's like, no, there's not. And then she's like, no, like they're gonna help me. Like Zaro has wealth. Pyat Pri like has some semblance of power. And Jorah's just like this entire time. Jorah's being weird again in this chapter.
Oh yeah. Also, reminder: this is our first time catching up with them after we found out that he is inappropriately
obsessed with
affectionate towards her. Yeah.
And she keeps like thinking about it, and I don't.
She's like she wished she could love him better than she did. And I'm like, I
don't really like this as part of her character. I'm like, why did homie have to write this in? Like, okay,
yeah,
like I get that.
Yeah, because like she's not interested, and I just want her to be like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. And if you want to like hang with me as like my servant, dude, sure, but like.
It's odd and off-putting. But yeah, this is where she kind of mentioned, she's like, dude, I knew he had like a castle, but this is so
something else.
Yeah. And like
it makes Illyrio's manse in Pentos look like a swineherd's hovel.
Yeah, which is crazy because we heard about that and like how cool it was, and like he's obviously super rich in Pentos, so which that's crazy to think about. I can only imagine how big it must be. And then we kind of get like, she's like, oh my gosh, like this is so much, like you're too generous. And Zaro's like, for the mother of dragons, no gift is too great. And I'm like, okay, so this is where they all want her dragons. We love this. But yeah, so we kind of found out about the different groups that exist in the city, and then the last kind of we have this person named Quaithe.
Quaithe. That sounds
okay, cool. Yeah. So we have Quaithe, and Quaithe is a shadow binder. Quaithe is like kind of in contrast to the other two. Quaithe is kind of like, beware of everybody, because they want your dragons. voice. And Jorah's like, she's the only one who sang.
I love your voice for Quay.
Thank you. Jorah's, because I imagine, you know what? I imagine her as like hunched over. You know what I mean? With that energy of like, I have a secret. Like, do you know what I mean? So then with that voice.
I didn't see her as hunched over. I saw her, like, obviously there's like a thing of mystery because she's wearing like a mask that we never see her face.
Yeah.
But like the kind of person who just kind of blends into the background kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Was the sense I got from her.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, before Pirate Pri leaves, he gives her a jar of ointment that he swears would let her see the spirits of the air. And I'm just like, yeah, keep away from that shit. I don't trust it.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, you know, it's like, don't get your drugs from an untrustworthy source, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Get like, that checked out.
Yeah, this is like going in the middle of the street. Going to a street.
Just like grabbing like the first drug dealer and being like, hey.
Exactly. Like,
yeah,
I agree. Do not do that, kids. But yeah, that was my voice for her. That kind of went with
just to be clear, we're not advocating for not doing drugs, because we're just advocating for not doing drugs off the street. Yeah. Just want to make it clear.
Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, we already kind of knew this, but like, you know, she's got dragons. That's pretty valuable. Mm-hmm. Nobody else in the world, as far as we know, has dragons. So we gotta take care of that shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jorah's
and Dany's like on top of this though, she's like, oh yeah, we were gonna, so she's given like a whole wing of the castle or manse or palace or whatever, and she's gonna keep her own guards, like not gonna trust these people, and make sure the dragons are always guarded, and so good for her.
Yeah, definitely. And then she kind of like assigns jobs to all of her blood riders. She's like, okay, like Ricardo and Ricardo. She's like, Ricardo, go, like, this kind of reminded me of like house hunting, because like, you know, like when a real estate agent shows you like the house, they're gonna be like, yo, look at this beautiful room, but they're not gonna show you like under the carpet where the stain is. So Dany's kind of like, okay,
go find me the stains.
Yeah, Dany's like, find the stains in the city, because everything we've seen so far is like so pretty, but it's like we gotta look past.
It's a little too good to be true.
Yeah, definitely. And then she's like, okay, Jorah, go to the docks, go talk to people, like, and she's sending Jorah because, like, he knows the most languages.
Yeah, but he's given her attitude. Like,
yeah, he's being weird.
Dude, I
don't like this. I don't like this little dynamic we got going on.
And don't forget, like, he brings her the news of, like, hey, Robert's dead, but up until very recently, we know for sure he was spying on her for this very Robert. So yeah, I don't know.
He's a slimy one.
Yeah.
And so she kind of she sends everybody to go do that, and then she's like, I'm gonna go take a bath. And then she's kind of like,
she has like a fish pedicure.
yeah. So she's kind of like in her bath, and she's kind of, you know, she's worrying about everything, and she's like, how am I gonna do this? Like, I know what I want to do, but like, how is this gonna happen? And like the usurper, I was supposed to say Kingslayer, but that's not what I was trying to say. Usurper. Yeah, usurper. And she's kind of thinking about like how she wants her kingdom to be, and she's like, you know what? I want my kingdom to be like pretty, and like I want everybody to be happy. I want, she says, fat men, pretty maids, laughing children. Like,
people to smile when they see me ride by, the way Viserys had said they smiled for my father, aka the Mad King. I don't know how much, but also there was that one dude that Arya saw who was like,
oh, the Mad King wouldn't
back in the day. Yeah, exactly.
That's true. So I guess we don't really know, like. But yeah.
Also, earlier, just like during the same kind of thought, she's thinking about like how beautiful the gardens and everything that she's in right now are, and she's like, oh, surely like the Seven Kingdoms are much prettier. And we're like, oh no, they've got moats with spikes, like there's no pools.
Yeah, definitely. There's now like this is so much prettier than anything there. Yeah.
And she's thinking about, you know, like if she takes like a whole bunch of Dothraki with her and sacks the cities, she says basically the Dothraki sack and plunder cities, they do not rule them. Yeah. And Daddy had no wish to reduce King's Landing to a blackened ruin full of unquiet ghosts. So
I mean, fair. But like that makes me think, like, what about when like Khal Drogo was alive? Like, what would have happened then?
This is what he would have done.
Yeah, like
maybe she was like, "Oh, once we get there, I'll talk him out of it."
Yeah, but like, okay, I call that wishful thinking, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's kind of thinking about all this, and she's like, yeah, like the usurper literally has already sent someone to kill me. Like, this is dangerous, you know? How am I gonna overthrow these people? Because like, she's kind of thinking about how Viserys was like, I'm the rightful heir. As soon as I get there, they're just gonna accept me. And she's like, I am not dumb. I have a brain.
That's foolish thinking.
Yeah, and she's like, I have to overthrow them with force. Like, they're not just gonna bow down to me. But like, I don't have that.
Yeah.
So how am I gonna do this? And she's panicking. And she's like,
but then she's like, you know, the bleeding star led me to Karth for a purpose. Here I will find what I need if I have the strength to take what is offered and the wisdom to avoid the traps and snares. If the gods mean for me to conquer, they will provide. They will send me a sign. And if not, ... So, do you think the gods mean for her to conquer?
I think that if the gods mean for her to conquer, they're making it real hard with a million kings. Or
maybe they're making it easy on her because, like,
they're splitting
later on, she's like, they're all like, it's all in chaos. It makes this one like true ruler seem kind of great.
Yeah. I think, you know what I think? I think the gods, if they exist in this world, love to fuck with the people. And so they're just doing this for their own enjoyment, okay? If the gods exist. So they're just like, let's create more drama, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, really, like, she's putting her faith in this, but, like, it wasn't really a real sign. I don't
think it was a sign. I think it was it was an alluring possibility. We will see if it goes anywhere for her.
Do you want her to conquer?
I don't know. I'm thinking about this. I don't know whose side I'm on. Because, like, I'm obviously not on the Lannister side, okay? As much as
Not even Tyrion's?
No. This man is having a whole
You think Tyrion would survive if the Lannisters were taken down?
I think Tyrion's clever enough that he would just be like... I think he would survive. I think he would.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So, not Lannisters. What about the Baratheons? Well... There's two Baratheons, Stannis and Renly.
I do not need Stannis out here conquering, okay?
Okay. Renly?
Renly? I feel like I don't know him. I think Renly would be one of those rulers where if he was the ruler, things would seem like they were going really well. Whether they were or they weren't. He would be very much like, he would be really good at glossing things over. Yeah. So things would look great if he was the ruler. But who knows if that would, like, translate.
I think that's a good assessment, honestly.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, like, do I want... Well, Robb doesn't want to rule. Robb just wants North.
Yeah.
So maybe... Okay, yeah. Maybe we get either Renly and Robb, or we get Daenerys and Robb. That's, like...
That would be duo. Nice.
That would be, but obviously that's not gonna happen. But that would be good. I would love that.
Yeah, I mean Daenerys has to get there first.
Yeah, and you know she hates the idea of Ned Stark.
Oh yeah,
so
that too for sure.
And Renly Baratheon. So I don't think Dany's about to be like, yeah, let's partner up, buddies. Like, no.
But she'll have to partner with somebody if she wants to like take over the kingdom.
Oh my gosh! Imagine. Well, no. She has the same quarrel with the Lannisters too. But Tyrion might, man, Tyrion could, like...
You know who she might... Okay, I'm just thinking. Because, like, you know how her brother's kids and wife were killed? Elia and her kids?
Yeah.
The Martells.
Oh, but the Martells are with the Lannisters now, aren't they?
Oh, right. I'd even forgot. Oh my gosh. There's so many things happening.
I know! It's so confusing.
Okay.
So does that translate
maybe
to
the Greyjoys, because they all hate everybody.
Right, yeah. They can bond over, like, not directly living in Westeros. They can be like, Westeros think they're all that. We're all bad. I don't know. They can just vibe.
Okay. All right. Sorry for taking us off track. I was just curious.
No, that's all good. Anyway, so then as she's thinking about this, Jorah brings in I can't say his name.
Kuhuru Mo?
Kuhuru Mo.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Captain of the Cinnamon Wind. So we'll just call him Captain of the Cinnamon Wind.
I'm just gonna say captain. So the captain.
No, but there's many boats.
I know, but like he's the one we know right now.
Oh, like in reference to this chapter,
Yes.
but like if we ever like think back to him, we're not gonna like try to remember his name. We'll just say, "Hey, remember when she met the captain of the captain of the Cinnamon Wind,
captain of the Kuhuru?
Yeah,
but yeah. Okay, yeah, sounds good. So then I'm just gonna call him Mo. Okay, Mo comes in.
No,
we don't know another Mo. It works.
Fine.
So Mo comes in, and Mo's like, oh, I'm greatly honored. And she's like, are you from the Summer Islands? And he's like, yes. And he's like, I have brought you a gift. I don't know why I'm giving that his voice. He sounds like an old man when I do that voice. So then he's like, dude, Robert Baratheon is dead. And she's like, I'm sorry, dead? And she's like,
dead.
You're certain the usurper is dead? And he's like, yeah, that's what we've heard. And from all the accounts, like, I've heard different ways he died, but all of them conclude to he's died. And, you know, multiple trials have led to this conclusion. So I feel like it's probably right. She's like, and I love this. Oh my gosh, this sentence was, I just love this sentence, okay? It says, his great shadow had lain across her since the hour of her birth, when she had come forth amidst blood and storm into a world where she no longer had a place. That sentence was just... Yeah. I just love really that sentence. No, I know. It's so sad, but I feel bad for loving it, but it's just, like, written so well. I just love it. Just hit me.
Yeah, it's a good sentence. Yeah.
But, yeah, so Dany's kind of like, oh my gosh, like, this gigantic weight is gone.
And so Mo updates her further that the Baratheon bros are also fighting, and Ned Stark has been seized for treason. We know more than that has happened, but this is 6-month-old news.
Right.
And Jorah's like, whoa, Ned Stark? A traitor? Not bloody likely. The long summer will come again before that one would besmirch his precious honor. And Dany's like, what? You think he has any honor? He is one of the usurper's dogs.
Yeah. This was an interesting perspective to hear someone who's like, Ned is not honorable. But it's crazy. We've been like in his mind for so long. Where it's like... Yeah.
Well, Jorah's... It's also interesting because like... Jorah has beef against Ned Stark because Ned was gonna behead him.
Yeah.
But the reason Ned was gonna behead him is because his honor, kind of honor code was like, oh, you did the bad thing, you get beheaded. Like,
right, yeah.
So Jorah has like he recognizes that Ned Stark follows an honor code. He just isn't a fan of that honor code, and Daenerys is just like, no honor code whatsoever. They're just terrible dogs.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, okay, hang on. She tells the dude, my brother is dead as well. My brother who was the true king, my husband killed him with a crown of molten gold. So, first off, she's telling him this real juicy stuff.
Yeah.
And just laying it out there. Do we want this like news spreading, and also the fact that it was her husband that did it, and in such a gruesome way?
And just the fact that like it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, like he's dead now, but like I just everything, like this guy knows everything now. that there is to know
Yeah,
about
and
her.
Jorah's kind of like, oh, are you sure about that? And she's like, well, let them know. I think I'm okay with her, like, letting people know her intentions.
Yeah.
But all these, like, details, I don't know about.
Yeah, it's just not... It's not good. And obviously the guy's super happy. He's like, great, we got the juicy stuff. This is great. Let's go.
Got to see some dragons. I
am having a day, and it's a good one. Because usually when you say, like, I'm having a day, it's, like, not a...
It's a bad one.
Yeah. But yeah, he's having a good one. His plate is, great. He still has his plate.
Yeah, and then, but so it's weird because he's like, oh, I'm sorry, our rightful king is gone. But she doesn't correct him and be like, yeah, but your rightful queen is right here. But then later she's like, hey, when I am queen, like, just kind of skipping ahead, come to me and I'll make you rich.
Yeah, she doesn't really, like, explain that. She's not like, hey, me, I guess she's like, you already know,
I guess. I don't know. It was like, first I was like, wait, why isn't she, like, correcting him? And then she all of a sudden, like, goes with, like, yeah, I am gonna be queen.
Yeah, definitely. And then she has that weird Jorah moment again, where she's just...
Wait, before that, before the dude leaves, she asks him if, he can take her back to Westeros. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna be returning there for another year. Sorry about that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Then she's like, oh, okay, farewell. And then her and Jorah talk.
Yeah. And this is... And she's...
So weird. Jorah's being real negative. He's like, oh my gosh, I mean, sure, Robert's dead, but, like, his son... Yeah. I mean, he still thinks it's actually his son. Yeah. Rules in his place. This changes nothing. And Dany's like, what are you talking about? This changes everything, because Westeros is in chaos now. Mm-hmm. I can come in and just, like, swoop everybody over.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But then Jorah's like, but you don't have an army. And she's like, you think I don't know this shit? You think... But, like, she doesn't say it how I wanted her to say it, you know? She says it gently.
Yeah, she
took his hands in hers and looked up into his dark, suspicious eyes. Sometimes he thinks of me as a child he must protect, and sometimes as a woman he would like to bed. But does he ever truly see me as his queen? And I think the answer to that is no, and I think that is a problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, sorry. I just got carried away by my feelings.
Yeah, it's a mess. Like, I feel like this is... Like, with Viserys, when Viserys was, like, being weird, and then she, like, dragged him with the horses or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Wait, no. She didn't drag him with the horses. She made him walk.
I swear there was a part where he got dragged by a horse.
No, he didn't get dragged. It was the wine seller who was trying to poison her.
Oh, okay. That, gotcha. But yeah, I just need her to do something like that. Not
drag Jorah.
No, not the drag. Like the... like Viserys had to walk.
I need her to stop this, like, gentle, because I get where she's coming from, where she's like, oh, he's, like, my first supporter, he's been with me through all of this shit. I get that. But she needs to be firm with him and just, like, make it clear.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is, like, if somebody else was doing this, she would, like, discipline them. But, like, with him, she's not, like, there's no consequences to him, like, being weird. And, she just needs to get on that, because otherwise this is not ending well.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this is when she's like, dragons die, but so do dragon slayers.
Right. But, okay, so Jorah's like, oh, your brother was the blood of the dragon, and she says, well, I'm not Viserys, and he's like, yeah, you're more like Rhaegar, but Robert killed him, proving that even dragons can die. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, Rhaegar was a metaphorical dragon, but she has literal fucking dragons. Like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, sure, they're, like, babies now. They're, like, flopping about. Just a couple of them can't even, like, take flight, so they're just, like...
Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're gonna get there eventually, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just, once again, that dynamic of, like, he sees her half as a kid and half as this lady that he loves. So
I don't know if love is the word.
Is infatuated with.
Yeah, that's more of it.
Yeah. And it's just this weird, like, he's not able to see past that, which is, once again, a problem for Dany.
Yeah. Okay, so, some questions. Should she trust all these Carthene?
No. But, like, also...
Should she trust any of them?
I think she should trust the lady.
Quaithe?
Yes.
Okay. Because she, like, is like, you shouldn't trust anybody, so therefore trust me.
No, I just... Because, like, she didn't say that. You know what I mean? She didn't say, like, oh... Because they were all doing, hey, they're full of shit, but I'm not. But she was just doing, hey, they're full of shit. So she wasn't being a hypocrite about it. So, I like her.
Okay.
I think.
What do you think is gonna happen? Like,
man, I feel like we're gonna get to an altercation where they're gonna be like, okay, great, like, now we've housed you.
Between
for, like,
whom? Oh, the Carthene and her?
Yeah. We're gonna get to a point where they're gonna be like, okay, so, like, we've housed you for, like, a month now, and, like, you know, like, dragons.
I don't see no dragons. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's gonna be like, I don't trust you guys with the dragons. And they're gonna be like, yeah, but, like, we're keeping you here because of the dragons. And then we're gonna have a conflict. Not totally sure how that's gonna go. Maybe it's like, okay, you know what I want to happen? Maybe she partners with the Qua lady?
Quaithe,
thank you. Quaithe. And maybe Quaithe helps her get troops, and then she can escape with the troops, and then not have to worry about the other people. But that is called wishful thinking, and that's not gonna happen. So I think she'll get a few more people, but she'll have to, like, get out of here, because they're gonna be like, give us your dragons, you know?
Okay.
Or they'll be like,
right.
oh, like, we'll keep your dragons safe, don't worry, like, we're not doing anything with them. But obviously she's not gonna do that, so they're gonna be like, okay, bye.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good guess. Is this, like, her kind of, like, laying it all out to the captain of the Cinnamon Wind gonna bite her back in any way? Is this gonna influence anything?
I think it'll just be like, because, you know, none of the people in Westeros have heard about her since that last council meeting where they were like, should we kill her? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think this will just, like, I think this news will definitely, I mean, this is juicy gossip. He's gonna spread this to everybody he meets, you know? So I think, eventually, in a little bit, because I don't see Dany getting to Westeros anytime in the next, like, few months. And, you know, he'll be back in Westeros in, like, a year. So I feel like
his news will get there before she does.
Yeah, and so then it'll kind of prompt, like, oh shit, another enemy that we have to deal with. Discussions and of the sort. I think it'll, but yeah, to specifically answer your question, I think it'll just take away her, like, because, like, for example, if she showed up there right now, nobody would know. And also nobody would know that there's fucking dragons, right? So it'll take away that advantage that she has. Yeah. So I think it'll be a problem for her. But, like, also, how do you defend against dragons? So will it really be a problem? I don't know. We'll find out.
I mean, right now they're tiny. But yeah. She has to, like, find a... Ideally, she could hide away somehow, somewhere.
Yeah.
And, like, let them grow. Yeah. And then once they're, like, you know, dragons, like, you know, fire-breathing tanks, basically, that fly also, right? She could just, like, show up and be like, okay, this kingdom's mine now. Yeah. Basically what Aegon the Conqueror did, so.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's all I got. Let's move on to Bran.
All right. So we start the chapter, and Mira and Summer are, like, play fighting, kind of vibing. They're all, like, kind of in the... I'm assuming they're in the Godswood, because there's Weirwoods.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
So they're in the Godswood, and they're just vibing. They're just hanging out, and Bran finally kind of has friends, sort of. Constant companions, as they're called.
Yeah, and he does like them.
Yeah.
So.
So
even
friends.
though one of them is the little grandfather, Jojen, who's so solemn that old Nan called him little grandfather.
Yeah.
And Mira is a bit older, almost 16, a woman grown.
Yes, and she kind of reminds him of Arya, because she also kind of defies all those, like, stereotypes that are imposed in this world. She's, like, really strong, and yeah, she's strong, and she can run, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, she's cool. And he's like, yeah, like, they're both older than me, but they don't really treat me like a child, and I like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wish you were our wards instead of the Walters, and I felt bad for him at this point. I was like, yeah, I wish they were, for your sake.
Yeah. So they're talking about, like, oh, my Mira's telling them that my dad taught me how to fight because we don't have a master at arms, we don't have a maester. And then Bran's like, who takes care of your ravens? And she says, ravens can't find Greywater Watch no more than our enemies can, because it moves. That is such, like, Bran can't tell if she's joking or not, but that's a really cool idea. What do you think? Do you think Greywater Watch moves?
I don't know.
It is in the marshlands, like in the swamp lands.
Yeah, I guess, but, like, it's a weird imagery to be like, it just moves, you know? Like, I guess it's like, oh, like, it...
Maybe it's not so much that the castle itself moves, but maybe, like, the landscape around it changes so often that it's hard to, like, find your way back there.
Yeah, that's true. That would make sense. Right, so there's not just,
like, there's no
not
road.
landmarks and stuff.
So, exactly, yeah. Like, you have no way to, like, mark where you were or where you're going.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's interesting, but Bran's kind of like, what?
I don't know. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
So they're just like, hey, you should come over.
Let's have a play date
sometime. Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll ask Sir Roderick when he comes back. Because he's off in the east, trying to set rights the trouble there. So apparently Roose Bolton's bastard, who we heard hunts things other than animals that one time, has seized Lady Hornwood, the really nice, kind lady we met, who was grieving her, husband and son's death. As soon as she, returned from the harvest feast, married her that very night, and took over her lands. But then, to defend said lands, Lord Manderley, who we also met during the harvest feast, took over her castle. So now it's all just a big mess.
Yeah. So much for unity, guys. This harvest feast that we had to, unite us and Rob's purpose, and here we are. This is great. This is lovely.
So, Jojen's like, it would be good if you left Winterfell, Bran.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
And Mira tells us that Jojen has the green sight. He dreams things that haven't happened, but sometimes they do. There is no sometimes about it. Jojen corrects, basically. And that's a thing.
This pretty much never gets brought up again because at this point Bran's like, oh, what's gonna happen? Why do I have to leave? But then they kind of get lost and we never hear about it again.
Yeah, okay. I think we're gonna get lost in all of this too. So I'm gonna ask you questions as they come to me.
Okay.
Why would it be good if Bran left Winterfell?
Because our lovely Greyjoy friends are gonna come hunt us down.
Okay, that's why. Okay,
yes.
That's a good point. Does Jojen see things that haven't happened and will happen?
Totally.
Okay.
100%.
He has the green
sight. The only thing I'm confident about in this chapter, pretty much.
Okay, and so this is when they start asking him about his dreams, and he's like, I don't have no dreams. And Mira's like, we've all heard you waking and screaming, from your dreams.
Because we just see it from his perspective.
Yeah, it is. But, and, tell us why you're afraid. And Bran's like, I don't want to. And so Jojen's like, well, I dreamed of you in my green dreams. I dreamed of a winged wolf bound to earth with gray stone chains. It was a green dream, so I knew it was true. A crow was trying to peck through the chains, but the stone was too hard and his beak could only chip at them. And the crow had 3 eyes. So Jojen is dreaming of the same
Three-eyed
crow that Bran is dreaming of.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And he said, Jojen says, like, when I was little, I almost died of greywater fever, and that's when the crow came to me. So, like, that's
so there's this, like, almost a pattern of, like,
near-death
Bran
experiences.
almost died.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting that, like, it's this, like, this near-death experience that, like, opens up this, like, extra, like portal of knowledge, and kind of.
I know you don't remember this, because it is
a detail.
Well, it's also a detail, but it is also from that Bran dream chapter.
Of course I don't. Remember. Yeah, of course I don't.
So when he is dreaming that, and he's like going north and north and north, and the crow is like following him and is like, forget about your whatever, like you've got to fly or die. Yeah. And when Bran looks down, he sees like the bones of 1,000 other dreamers impaled on like stakes who apparently died instead of flying. So it makes me wonder, like, is Jojen also somebody who flew instead of died? Yeah. Did Jojen also fly instead of die? Like, in whatever his version of that is, you know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember that now that you say it, but definitely did not remember that before.
See, like, there's things.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Man, I chose the wrong chapter to be a disaster in. But it's okay. I'm gonna redeem myself eventually for that. But yeah, like,
so
it's crazy because, like, even like moving outside of the chapter, like in real life, I feel like I had to clarify that. But, like, you always hear about, like, when people are like, oh, I had that near-death experience, and, like, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, or, like, I saw, like, my life flashing before my eyes. And it's like that, but, like, heightened and magical. And it's, like, crazy. I'm like, what the heck? It was just trippy trying to wrap my head around this.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what do you think the crow's role is in all this, like, green sight dreaming thing?
I think the crow gives the
third eye.
Gives the possibility of the third eye. Because, like we just said, like, sometimes people don't, like sometimes people aren't able to, like, successfully
Is the crow,
accept it.
just like a kind of like a figure? Is the crow real? I mean,
they say I wonder about this,
the crow is in the north beyond the wall.
Yeah, I was gonna... Yeah. Oh, wait, 1 second. I think
Is there, like, a crow perched atop a tree somewhere in the, deep, deep north?
I wonder if the crow is, like... I don't know, because we see this connection between the Green Seers and, like, the Children of the North. We've, like, heard about the Children of the North.
Children of the Forest.
Oh, yes. Children of the Forest. And, like, everybody's like, oh, they've been gone for thousands of years, but, like, everything in this book that's been gone for thousands of years is suddenly coming back. So I wonder if it's, like, the crow is, like, connected to, like, the Children of the Forest. It's, like, their crow or something.
Lewin also mentions that, like, back in the day, it was said that the Children of the Forest had, like, power over animals.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say, too. Like, maybe it's, like, they use the crow to
Okay, so it's a crow that they send a message. It's a raven, but it's, like, a different kind of a raven.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, and
they're sending Bran a raven, but via a three-eyed crow.
Yes, pretty much.
Like, but just Bran's just not taking the hint.
Yeah, Bran's like, what?
Okay, yeah. I like that.
But yeah, this is where they
So-
kind of mention, like, is the crow at Greywater? No, the crow's in the north. It's
Mhm.
like, at the wall.
Yeah,
here's the
and
wall.
so Mira also mentions that when their dad heard of Jojen's dream, he sent them to Winterfell.
Mhm.
So now if you remember their dad, Howland Reed, present at Tower of Joy, only person other than Ned to survive that. What do you think? Why did he send them to Winterfell?
Oh my gosh, I'd forgotten that their dad was the dude.
Mhm.
Maybe it's like a...
I'm not I don't know if like those two things are connected. I'm just saying that their dad has more to do with the story than just like being a random like off screen their dad. Yeah.
I guess everybody in the kingdom knows, so Howland Reed would know that Ned is dead. So maybe it's like a, I don't know, like help Bran so that he can do what he needs to do, / like, because obviously he has this power for a purpose, even though we don't know the specifics of it yet. So maybe it's like, okay, like, yo, this kid of this guy that I used to know, like, go helping him out.
Yeah, so it also tells me that Howland Reed has a faith in these dreams. Like, he believes them and takes them seriously.
Unlike our lovely everybody else, pretty much, in this world.
Yeah. Anyway, so just wanted to like bring that up and highlight it. So,
and here they kind of describe this like third eye. Yeah,
he's basically like, you're the winged wolf that can't fly because you're tying yourself down by not opening your third eye.
Yeah.
And Jojen says, with 2 eyes you can see my face. With 3 you could see my heart. With 2 you can see that oak tree there. With 3 you could see the acorn the oak grew from, and the stump that it will one day become. Yeah. With 2 you see no farther than your walls. With 3 you could gaze south to the summer sea and north beyond the wall. The gazing south to the summer sea and beyond the wall, he's kind of already done in that one dream. Yeah.
But then right after that, he's like restricted himself from all that. Yeah.
Just because he is so frightened. Yeah. And Jojen brings up like, oh, he's like, Bran's trying to like change the topic, and he's like, oh, let's talk about lizard lions. And Jojen's just like, did you dream of lizard lions? No, I didn't think so. You dreamt of wolves, so let's talk about that.
Yeah. He's like, I felt prince. I don't have to tell you anything.
Yeah. Jojen says he felt Bran in summer when he touched him that one night at the in the Godswood. And like, what is it that you're so afraid of? Is it the falling that scares you? And the falling, Bran thought, and the golden man, the queen's brother, he scares me too, but mostly the falling. He did not say it, though. How could he? He had not been able to tell Sir Roderick or Maester Luwin, and he could not tell the Reeds either. So he hasn't told anybody about his like realization of like how that like fall happened. And it's like, hey, do you fall every night? And just like Bran's getting agitated, Summer's starting to growl, and Mira's like, hey, control your wolf, buddy. And Bran's like, what?
I'm not a what? Like, I'm not him. What?
Yeah.
How am I? How what?
Yeah. He's getting angry.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know why. Didn't I say this at one point? Where I don't know if I'm making this up, but like, I swear at one point I was like, because we were talking about like,
what did you say? What was the thing?
We were talking about how Bran's wolf protected Bran from that dude who came in to kill him.
Yeah.
And I swear I remember at one part saying, like, there's a connection. I swear I said something along the lines of...
you said that.
Okay, yeah, I did.
They're connected.
No, not connected, but, like, I said something about, like, there's this... Okay, how do I phrase this? I'm struggling.
I remember you said it, but I don't remember the exact phrasing you used.
But I was like, yay, I finally said one thing right. I was happy.
Yeah. So, basically, Jojen's like, yeah, that wolf is feeling your anger. Part of you is Summer, and part of Summer is you.
You know that, Bran.
Yeah. And Summer is like ready to pounce, and even when Bran tries to call him off, it doesn't work. And Mira tells Jojen to get up the tree, and he's like, "Oh, there's no need. Today's not the day I die." Also, this may not be the day you die, but you could get grievously injured. This may be the day you get seriously hurt.
Yeah. And then Shaggy comes in and just...
so she screams, "Do it!" And her brother scrambled up the trunk of the weirwood. So I love this, he's like, "Oh, it's not a big deal," but then she yells at him and he's like, "Oh, fine, I'll get on with."
Yeah. Shaggy's jaws snapped shut beneath her ankle as she swung up and over the limb. That was terrifying to imagine.
She pulls herself as well. Because, Shaggy Dog has joined Summer. Because they're feeling their feelings. And finally, Bran remembers that Hodor's around. So he shouts for him. And it says, "They won't hurt Hodor," he assured his treed friends.
Wait, I just had a thought.
Okay.
I think we talked about this before too, but we were like, because we know that Bran's connection, because when we realized Bran is Summer in his dreams, so we were like, okay, his connection's obviously super deep, and I remember we were talking about is this also the case for the other wolves and kids? And I'm just thinking because Sansa's wolf died, so did a part of Sansa's I don't want to say spirit, heart, soul,
but did something in her die as well.
So it's she can never if it did, she can never get that back because it's dead.
I mean, that's a fair assumption.
So that makes me sad. I hadn't.
Yeah,
we hate that. Anyway,
sorry, can we just go back to me loving the expression "his treed friends," because his friends are up at a tree, so they're treed. What?
His treed friends. It's grounded. Grounded, treed. Yeah, haven't heard it in that way before.
Anyway, Hodor comes in and flaps his arms and shoos him away. Not flaps, but waves. Yeah. I was remembering the dragons flapping their wings.
Oh my gosh. Hodor should have wings.
But he chases them away, and they get down, and Jojen's like, "We will talk again." And Bran gets Hodor to take him to Maester Luwin, who is all he's a bit of a mess because he's responsible for the entire castle now. Yeah. Things are not going great for him. Yeah. But so Bran's basically okay, so Mira told me that Jojen has the green sight. And, they go into the whole thing or whether or not he has it. Maester Luwin's trying to explain, it's basically what we think of as magic. And I know this stuff because I studied magic and I came to the conclusion that magic doesn't exist.
Yeah, he's like, I tried it and I wasn't able to make it happen, so it doesn't exist, buddy. It's okay. I've done all the trial and error that could possibly ever happen. I'm like, okay, buddy, you're one person, calm down.
Well, no, he does say I tried as have thousands of others, but basically he's it's I know. Yeah, I studied it, so I know it.
Yeah,
which is usually true, but you didn't practice it. I don't know.
I don't think that he's. But I guess right after he does say okay, there's stuff that we don't understand, but he doesn't say that in relation to this directly, so it kind of irked me a little bit because I was technically you don't know. I feel of all people, you should be the one saying, hey, there is a possibility, because you've studied
yeah,
the
we can never know.
possibility.
Well, he does say all of that. Like, he says, like, it's a possibility, but really, no. Like, that's where he ends up.
Yeah.
Although in his, like, little speech, he's talking about, you know, how this was, like, a thing unique to the children of the forest. And that they think it had something to do with the faces in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
The first men believed that the greenseers could see through the eyes of the weirwoods, which is why they, you know, carved all those faces. And which, like, gives a whole significance to, like, every time Catelyn walks into the Godswood, she feels like they're watching her, like she's being watched by the tree. Or every time, like, earlier, Bran would say the same thing.
Imagine if, like, okay, I'm hopeful that Bran will, you know, open his third eye and, you know, see through this. And if this kind of, because, you know, there's usually, like, obviously there's a connection between the lore that we've heard in this story and, like, how it kind of manifests itself, but there's sometimes a little bit of differences. But if this, like, kind of interpretation of it is right, and he can, like, see through the eyes of the weirwood, what if he can, like, see Sansa? That would be fun. Because, like,
is there a weirwood where Sansa is?
Isn't there? Wasn't there, like, one weirwood there?
I don't think in King's Landing there is.
That's sad.
There's one in Riverrun. And we noted that was
didn't
unique.
Ned go to the one weirwood that they had?
He went to the Godswood, which is just a bunch of other trees.
That's lame. Okay. Sad.
Wait, remember what we said about using that word?
Sorry, that's pathetic. We're moving on.
Yeah. So it's sad, but there was one in Riverrun, and there's, like, the Blackwoods, who are one of the river lords, are, like, their sigil is like a weirwood tree or something. Like, they're all about the weirwoods. And but unfortunately most of them in the south were cut down, so yeah, at one point, like, in the last book, Bran's thinking, oh, you know, like, the gods, or he's talking to Osha, and Osha's like, you can pray, but, like, what are they gonna do? They don't have any power in the south because they don't exist there. Yeah, it's sad. So blah 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 blah.
And then
blah blah.
And then Mira comes to visit him after his, you know, meeting with Lewin. And you know, and Bran kind of is like, yo, my maester said what you're saying is not true, therefore you're lying. And Mira's like, you know, dude could be wrong. And he's like, no, my dad believed him, so I'm gonna believe him. And she's like, okay, but, like, your dad decided for himself. Like, you gotta have your own kind of thoughts and, like, conclusions that you come to.
And before I go, can I just tell you this little dream my brother had? So the dream goes, you were sitting at supper, but instead of a servant, Maester Lewin brought you your food. He served you the king's cut off the roast, the meat rare and bloody, but with a savory smell that made everyone's mouth water. The meat he served the Freys was old and grey and dead. Is there any meat that's not dead? Yet they liked their supper better than you liked yours. So what do you think this dream means?
Yeah, I think this is kind of like, just like, he has...
It's
Bran.
kind of like
No, Bran has so much. And he now has this, like, he has this third eye that he can see with. And he's got so much. And he's still kind of stuck on this idea of, like, I'm never going to be a knight. I'm never going to be able to do these things. But he's kind of unable to see this, like,
appreciate the value in it.
Yeah, this, like, entire thing that's just been unlocked for him. And, like, how much is there that he can explore and, like, go with. But, like, I guess he's just, like, it's just easier to accept, like, you know, like, even in life, it's just easier to accept, like, oh, I can't do this thing versus I can do this thing if I just, like, try to do it. You know, it's always easier to be like, oh, I can't, it's fine. And that's kind of what Bran's doing too, where he's like, I can't have, there's no way I have a third eye. How would I have a third eye? I can't do this thing. But it's like, if he maybe opened himself up to the possibility, he could, but he's afraid of falling when trying to fly. And it's like, oh, wait, no, I totally diverted from the dream. Sorry.
Hang on.
Dream.
Okay.
What I'm saying.
Basically, he's not seeing the value in what he has.
Yeah, and he's got the freaking juice.
But what do the phrase have to do with it?
Yeah, that I don't know. Maybe like, because the phrase, I kind of ignore the phrase whenever they come up, honestly, except for when Bran's. Anyway, so the phrase.
Oh my god, I like flipped to the appendix randomly the other day of this book, and the phrase take up
most of
so much of it. Really? Like, you can go and look up, like, it lists every single phrase. Really? There's so many phrases.
Oh my gosh, I will go look at that when I have a moment. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah. But yeah, so the phrase, I just, like, you know, the phrase are now, like, the, what's it called? The wards? They're wards, right? That's what they're, so they're, like, the wards now, so, like, they got this cool stuff, and, like, they're taking advantage of all the moments they got. They're like, I'm gonna fight you for our dad's, you know, they're always, like, fighting with each other. They're playing that, like...
Right.
So they're kind of, they're kind of, like, going with it. They're like, yeah, we got these things, let's do it, you know?
They're making the best of what they got.
Yeah, and it's like, really? They don't got a whole lot? Like, they got the old gray meat, because really, neither of them are ever going to be in power, because there's so many people in front of them, but they're still, like, working with what they got, you know?
Alright.
I think.
Okay. Okay, though that's a very interesting interpretation. What does Maester Luwin have to do with it?
Maybe... Okay, I'm gonna read this again. Right, you food. I mean, Maester Luwin's the one who's, like, studied magic? Question mark. So, but still that doesn't fit in because he doesn't really believe in it. I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, that's fine. We don't have to really delve too deep into it. Okay. Will Bran leave? Oh wait, no. Actually, we haven't finished. The last thought he kind of has is like, "Oh, I kind of wish magic were real because anything could happen as long as there's magic." And it's just like really sad, and you just want to give him a hug. Okay, and then will he leave Winterfell?
Will he leave Winterfell? I don't think he'll leave Winterfell because I think
where's he gonna go? I mean, is he gonna go to the Crow?
I don't think he'll leave Winterfell. I think he's gonna... Well, at least for now. I don't think he's gonna leave Winterfell.
What is for now? Like, for now this book? For now this...
At least until the attack happens, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
And then... Because I'm trying to think... Because the reads... So he says, like... so, like, when... Mira, that's her name? When Mira... I have to sneeze. Never mind. So when Mira explains this, like, dream that Jojen had to him, so Mira's like... She explains the dream and he's like, I don't understand. And she's like, you will, my brother says. When you do, we'll talk again. And I'm just wondering, like, are they about to leave until he understands? Or are they gonna, like, make sure he goes and then leave? Like, I'm unsure about that.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. So that suggested somewhat short term, the fact that they'll talk. Because, like, it can't be like, we'll talk to you 10 years from now. Yeah. Can it?
I don't think so, no. So I think it's just kind of like, hey, you're right there. Just go that extra step, and then we'll talk again.
Okay. All right. I'm getting lost in all of this, but I think that's everything. We talked about things as they came up. Yeah. Let's move on to Tyrion.
Tyrion! I don't know why I said it like I don't know why
What's with the sound effects?
I don't know. I am a voice actor now, apparently.
Okay, Tyrion. he is
pooping.
It's the middle of the night. Oh, well, he's not pooping yet, but he gets he gets a message that Lancel has come to see him, and he's like, oh, what did he think to find me all drowsy? But I stay up all night and never sleep.
Hashtag me.
Yeah, this is actually, we kind of saw this in the first book when he spent, like, when he was at Winterfell, he just like
night.
spent the whole night in the library because he was like, oh my gosh, so many books.
Yeah.
But now he's not reading so much as like scrutinizing the reports of Varys' whisperers and poring over Littlefinger's books of accounts. It's fun.
He's really delving into his work. Like,
yeah,
no
he's actually like caring about it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna take my time shitting.
Just anger
and
this dude
just
further.
let him wait and grow more anxious. So yeah, you summarize.
Okay, cool. So I just want to, before we get to the rest of the chapter, I just want to point out Lancel is 16.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the rest of the chapter. Okay.
Yeah.
He's 16.
So we're talking about that in terms of like Cersei's having sex with him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How old is Cersei? I think she's like,
she's gotta be at
30.
least 30.
Yeah, she's like, okay, so she was 16 when she married Robert. Around there. Like,
yeah, and Joffrey's
around
now
there.
like 16.
No, Joffrey's like 14.
Oh. Okay. So that's like, she's 30-ish.
Yeah, 30, maybe like 31 or 32. Okay. I'm just like putting a number on it. And Tyrion, I think, is like 25, 26.
Oh, wow. I always thought Tyrion was like 30 and then like Cersei was like 35. I always make these people older than they are.
Yeah, everybody's younger than you think.
Yeah.
Robert basically died at age 35. Same with Ned.
Ooh, that's rough. Damn.
Yeah. Which means Stannis is like in his early 30s or even earlier, and he's just an old man. Yeah! It doesn't sound right.
He acts like he's 50. Interesting.
Anyway, okay. We got off on that.
Yeah.
But yes, Lancel is 16.
Yeah. So then Tyrion's, done his business and he goes up to his, to Lancel.
Solar or wherever.
Yeah. And Lancel's like, Her Grace, the Queen Regent, has sent me to command you to release.
Please continue this voice forever. It's so good, but it threw me off, but it was so good.
No, I needed to make him more annoying than the other voices, because the other voices I was making mysterious, but I wanted him to be like annoying, so
okay,
anyway,
continue, please. Go ahead, do that. No, not moving on. You have to say everything he says in that voice.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fine, I shall. And then so Tyrion's like, oh, like, I hope my sister's, doing okay. I hope she's not working too hard, And then Lancel's
after her illness.
Yeah, and Lancel's like, Her Grace is quite recovered. And Tyrion's like, oh, yeah, that's great. I love that. Even though, he's...
should have given her a larger dose.
Yeah, and Tyrion's like, ugh, whatever. And then he's like, yo, buddy, let me start the fire. Come have wine with me. Let's just chill. And Lancel's like, I'm not here to drink with you, imp. And Tyrion's like, ugh. And, Tyrion's kind of reflecting on the fact that Lancel was Robert's squire, so he was the one who gave him that lovely wine and just kept bringing it out. And
basically, Cersei's mad
about everything.
What else is new? Yeah.
Cersei's like, bro.
And it's just like, oh, and he's like, okay, so she wants you to release Pycelle and relieve Bywater of his duties because he refused to obey her.
This forward thinking,
which is like
good
making
Tyrion's.
Bywater just like bring him up on Tyrion's list of people because he's like, oh, he'll listen to me and not her.
Exactly. But yeah, Tyrion's like kind of thinking ahead is working out for him. Good job, buddy.
Yeah. And then Lancel is like, I warn you. And she's like, no, not she. Tyrion's like, oh, I'll hear no warnings from you, boy. And Lancel's like, I'm a sir. And he like reaches for his sword. And Tyrion's like, you might want to rethink that. One cry from me and Shagga will burst in and kill you with an axe, not a wineskin.
Ooh, he's calling him out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then he's like, I'm a knight. I'm a knight. I don't know why I changed voices, but I did. And then Tyrion's like, so I've noticed. Tell me, did Cersei have you knighted before or after she took you into her bed? Ew! What the fuck? What the actual fuck? This man is 16 and he is your cousin! But like, also, you've already done it with your brother, so you wouldn't care about
like,
cousin.
The cousin part is like, honestly, in this world, cousin, well, honestly, yeah, even there's people now here, like, in the real world who marry their cousins, and it's totally fine. I mean, I don't really care, like, honestly. It's more like, as long as they're consenting, I'm more okay with that.
But this kind of just feels
this
like
world,
power.
like, cousins is just like the common thing. Yeah. Like, Cersei's parents were cousins.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess that makes sense because they're trying to keep like the power
Dany's
of the family.
parents were siblings.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, we did know that.
So,
we did.
So
know that.
Targaryens like take it a little like step too far with like sibling, like you know, nuclear family kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like cousins is just a commonplace thing.
Yeah,
so that is not what's throwing anybody off here. It's for sure the fact that he is a child and she is not.
Yeah. All of the above is messing me up. Like, what are we doing? This is disgusting. And yeah, so Tyrion,
he's like, oh no, it wasn't me. The queen told me to do it. Yeah. And Tyrion's thinking to himself, like, oh, he's not so good looking, but even a poor copy of Jaime is sweeter than an empty bed. So Lancel is basically Cersei's replacement for Jaime while he's gone.
Yeah, which is great. Good job, Cersei. And then he's kind of like scaring Lancel. He's like, oh really? Like, I have to tell Joffrey, man. Like, you think Joffrey's gonna be happy with this? And he's like really making him afraid. And then at the last minute, he's like, okay, as long as you like act as my spy, this is fine. I won't expose you. You'll be fine. And maybe like one day, you could have a lordship from me, but like you gotta be my confidant, not hers. And just like do whatever she tells you, I guess. But you'll be fine. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, you can go tell her that she can have Pycelle. I would swear that I haven't harmed a hair on his head, but that wouldn't be strictly true.
Oh my gosh.
And she can either keep him as a pet or send him to the wall, but I won't have him on the council. Yeah.
Yes.
And as in terms of Bywater, tell her that you can win him over from me, and we'll keep her busy with that notion.
He's like, don't get her pregnant, dude. Just don't do that.
And he's like, yeah, we're so safe. We use the pull-out method, 100% effective.
And then he kind of feels bad for Lancel.
He's like, oh, he's whatever kind of kid he is, he doesn't deserve what we're doing to him.
And that's the thing is, like, I feel like there's really no way to live in this household and not be awful and corrupt. You know what I mean? Like, there's, like, nature versus nurture, but I feel like in this case, the Lannisters the Lannisters are just so
potent.
That it's like, you can't not be a Lannister when you're a Lannister,
You gotta get on with the land plan. We haven't used that term in a while.
That's true. Now we have like multiple land plans. We have the Tywin, Tyrion, Cersei, multiple land plans. So,
So basically, he also just like is thinking to himself that if Cersei finds out that Lancel's spying on her, she'll have him killed. And if he survives, but if he doesn't do that, he will never survive the day Jaime returns to King's Landing, because either Cersei will kill him to hide it from Jaime, or Jaime will kill him in a jealous rage. So
yeah, we love this for them. Poor kid, man. He's trying. He's like, I'm a squire. I mean, like, he also killed a man, but, like, at the same time...
He's not a squire.
Or, sorry, he's a knight now. Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just... It sucks. And then Tyrion's like, okay, Podrick, go get Bran, and then... I love this part. He's like, go get Bran.
And Podrick doesn't understand because he's like half asleep and he's like, horses? What?
Yeah.
Those big brown animals that love apples. I'm sure you've seen them. 4 legs and a tail.
I love this little moment.
Oh, Pod. What is... Yeah, so basically Bran comes in, is like, okay, where are we going?
And then, no. Bran's like, are we going somewhere? And Tyrion's like, are all cell swords as clever as you?
Okay. We're getting in that same spot. We gotta rein it in. Come on. Breathe.
Okay, I'm good. I don't know why I thought that was so funny.
It is funny, but
that destroyed
me. We got it.
But yeah, and then so they're like
on their way to the brothel. Like, the whole situation in the city is just terrible. This one woman's got a cat on a stake and is like, I won't let you steal my cat, but I'm gonna eat for dinner. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a mess.
Okay.
It's a mess.
And they get to the brothel, and even the brothel's struggling. They can't find any good wine, you know? Yeah. Such a tragedy. I mean, it is, but also, like, you know, woman eating cat versus rich people
not having
drinking
wine. Yeah.
Yeah, not having the best wine. Not even not having wine.
Yeah.
They have wine, just not the best.
Yes.
And, you know, it's a whole thing, and this one girl's like really flirting with him, and he's like, oh, next time. And we found out that she's like got a bet going that she can get him to spend the night with her, and if she loses, she'll lose her like black pearls or something. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So comes and gets him, takes him up to that room with the secret door, whatever. And he's like, and this is when we find out that other girls made a bet, and he says, maybe I will save her from losing her pearls, and she's like, I don't think so. And even Tyrion's like, yeah, I won't. Yeah. Even though Shay is being paid to provide me with the services she does, I am faithful to her. And the whole kind of theme of this, like, chapter onwards, from now onwards, is like, oh, Shay is doing this for money, but I love her. Yeah. And also Alyaya sleeps while he's gone, which is
I love that.
Best thing.
I love that.
And she's learning to read, so soon she'll be able to read books to pass the time. I just love it for her.
I know, I love it.
Yeah. So again, Tyrion on the way is thinking, oh, I'm free of Tysha now. I have Shay now. Yeah. And he arrives at the manse where she stays, and we find out that he has hired only ugly, people. Old, scarred, impotent, and gay men / eunuchs to guard her. Yeah. Tyrion.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's
this is like such weird, gross, possessive behavior. Yeah. Like, I know he is like, she's literally a thing to him.
Yeah.
Like, he is buying her.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah. It's
I don't
this
like
weird,
it.
like, okay, he has childhood trauma with, like, this type of thing.
He was,
and
like,
then,
what, 13 when that happened? But like,
then also at the same time, it's like, he's lonely, because, like, it's not like he has friends, you know? So it's like this, it's just, both of those things are just combining in the worst way, and it's like this weird...
I think it's like, he's saying, oh, I'm faithful to her even though she's a sex worker, but he's also kind of enforcing non-sexuality on her part with anybody else, like, you know, which
he doesn't really have a right to do.
But he also, like, now I'm thinking back to when they first met before that battle, and he was like, I'll pay you well, you just as long as you're with me, just don't sleep with anybody else. Which is, I guess, like, you know, you want to avoid STIs and stuff. That's fair. But I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Yeah. It's very...
That's my feeling on this.
It's interesting.
Speaking of I don't like it, Shay is sleeping, and Tyrion straight up has very non-consensual sex with her. And it's just like, oh, I'm the man. My life is so good.
I hold it all. The power, the city, the girl. This is what I was made for, and gods forgive me, but I do love it. And her. This is like, you know, this is not going to end well for him. Yeah, not at all. He's going to be, like, utterly destroyed. 'Cause obviously, like, I mean, we don't know anything from Shay's perspective. Like, I guess it's, like, possible that she feels the same way, but I think it's highly unlikely that she's, because, you know, he's obsessed with her. And
it's wrong of him to expect anything more than a professional relationship.
Yeah.
And he's, like, really kind of staking his hopes on that.
Yeah, and, like, it's gonna tear apart his well-being when this ends.
Also, even his, like, not just, like, the girl part, but, like, his power is also kind of temporary. He's only, like, the hand stand-in until his dad gets in there. You know, so...
Yeah, but he's kind of... Yeah. Like, he's really delving into this whole thing, so he's making it his whole life, pretty much.
Yeah, I, like, feel good for him, because he actually feels good about himself for once. Yeah. That I like. Yeah. The other parts aforementioned, I do not like.
Yeah, definitely, I get that.
Yeah, so... Yay. Such a happy note.
He's having a little politician moment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so do you think Shay has actual feelings for him? Is she just doing it?
I don't think
her job.
We don't know, you know, like
we don't know, but what do you think?
I don't feel qualified to make a judgment because we've got no indication either way. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. That's fair.
I don't know. I don't want.
Sometimes I just want you to give me yes/no answers, and you're just like so deep about everything, and I just hate it.
I know, but I don't want to impose my. Because the thing is, we've got no evidence either way. So regardless of whatever I think, that's just me projecting. So I don't want to project anything on her. She has her thoughts, and I'm definitely just overthinking this.
Yeah, it is also like kind of a criticism of his work that we like. Don't have any idea who she is as a person other than exactly. This like you know just like her only purpose so far has been to just serve Tyrion.
And like we know nothing about her, so
okay, so is Cersei gonna be okay with having Pycelle around but not on the council?
I don't think she'll love it, but I think she'll be okay with it.
She'll deal with it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Will Lancel stay what's the word? Like keep faith with Tyrion.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? What else happens? Can't think of anything else. Will anybody find out about Shay?
Eventually, probably, but not soon.
Okay, so this is going to continue for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay until like the whole holding her hostage with ugly men.
Yeah.
And basically raping her while she sleeps kind of thing.
Yeah.
Up until that point it was like pretty evidently consensual, and like she was able to like do her own thing, you know.
Yeah.
But now she's literally like trapped in this one place. Yeah, so no, not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So is that the end of the 3 chapters?
Yeah.
Okay, wow, look at that. We're not
Look at
over
us
2 hours
go.
already. Although the emails
It'll end up
put
at
us
2 hours, but that's okay.
Yeah, okay. So let me pull those up. Is there anything? Oh wait, hang on. We did this last time. We have to talk about next chapters.
Oh my gosh, we did. Yes.
Okay, we will be reading 2 chapters next time.
Yay.
Okay, why yay?
No, because it's right before midterms, so it's like,
oh,
it'll be nice to.
Then for sure, yay.
Yeah.
Okay, so chapters 30 and 31. What do you think?
Ooh, I want to see Catelyn and
right.
I would say Arya, but Arya's chapters have been awful lately, so Sansa and Catelyn.
Because, Sansa's not going through anything awful or anything.
But, like, they're not as dire as Arya's tend to be.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
Sansa has some hint of hope. She kind of has that personality where she's like, it's okay, this sucks, but, like, maybe it'll be okay one day, you know? I appreciate that false
as
positivity.
Opposed to Arya, who's like, it's not okay, it won't be okay, but I will make it okay by murdering all these people on my list.
Yeah.
Okay, so chapter 30 is Arya.
Okay, I feel like something awful. I don't know why, but my gut feeling is telling me that something really awful is going to happen in this chapter. I don't know what, so don't ask me, but something.
Okay, but like pertaining to Arya, pertaining like, to a different person?
Arya, like maybe she gets caught, or maybe she's working in the kitchens, or no, she wasn't going to work in the kitchen because she backtalked. But wherever she's working, she like does something awful, and they're like, we're going to punish you. Like something bad's going to happen. I don't know.
Okay. I do want to give you a content warning for this one. Okay.
So something bad does happen. Okay, I don't like this.
Yeah, content warning. Rape. We'll leave it at that.
Why have I not gotten this warning before? We've had that in several chapters now.
This.
Oh no! I'm gonna cry.
This one is particularly memorable.
Oh, no.
I'll just say that.
Okay.
You know what? Let me put you. It's not to Arya.
Okay.
I'll say that so that you're not like dreading Arya being raped.
Okay.
Which, yeah, it's a story we hear about somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
it's pretty terrible. but there's some really other really good stuff in this chapter, which I am so excited for.
Okay, let's do it. Should I record my reaction?
I mean, you can. I don't know. I feel like you would have had the most, visceral reaction to the rape story I'm telling you about, but yeah, anyway. The next chapter is Catelyn.
Yay! Okay, oh my gosh. Okay, Renly drama, Baratheon bros, not broing it up.
So we know that Renly is going to Storm's End to fight Stannis.
I hope
Where is
Catelyn goes with
Catelyn?
him, but I don't think she will, which is annoying because I want to see what's happening. I think she'll stay at wherever they're at with like the rest of the people.
Bitterbridge.
Yeah. I think she'll be at the bridge with the other people.
We're not at the Bitterbridge.
Oh.
It's like the name of the castle.
Oh,
not at the bridge. It's. I mean, there is a bridge, but like.
Yeah, so she'll be at the castle, and she will not be vibing because issues are going on.
All right. But we'll hear an update on the Renly Stannis situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
At least that'll be something.
Yes.
Who do you think is gonna win that thing?
Man, nobody. They all about to die. Just kidding.
So everybody just dies?
No. I am kidding. I don't think. I really am holding out hope that. Because, I was thinking, like, maybe Melisandre is like, okay, y'all, don't fight. I'm really just holding out hope that maybe, like, they fight a bit, but then they, like, calm down. Because I don't, like, we need them to not both lose and die, so.
Okay, so they fight for a bit, and maybe that's where we catch up with Catelyn, where we're, like, getting news of, like, fighting's going on.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, then that's that. I will tell you now that we do have a special guest star next episode.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't tell you because I did want it to impact your predictions for the following chapters, because you would be like, oh, it's got to be something, whatever. I'll tell you, this person requested these chapters because they really wanted to see Arya at Harrenhal. Okay. All right.
Wait.
Now we can.
Like, who's coming in?
It's a surprise.
What do you mean?
Oh no. Okay. So it's Haley. Her last name, I'm not sure actually. I don't want to mispronounce it. She is one of the regular hosts of the restricted section.
Ooh, okay.
I just down the whole thing.
Oh,
but I recorded with her on the Quidditch World Cup episode chapter for the restricted section, and we were really getting along, and she really loves Arya's chapters in this book. So I was like, okay, I'll keep it in mind when she gets to Harrenhal.
Damn, okay.
And yeah.
Wow, okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
A new person. Well, like a real person.
And
not in the book.
Aren't you gonna be on the restricted section?
I am.
So yours, okay, from what I think when I think you're recording, the episode you're gonna be on is going to be released on the 2nd of March. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm just letting people know if they want to hear you, listen to you there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a cool couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yay!
We love crossovers.
Okay. Yes, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting having like another person here who knows things, and
See, that's I don't know things, so yeah.
So maybe we need another person who also doesn't know things.
Yeah, wait, that would be so fun.
I don't know anybody who doesn't know things. You're the only person. Okay, you're like the one in a million. That's not true, though.
See, you don't understand. Nobody that I talk to knows Game of Thrones, except for, like, very limited people. So, like, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, but they have to know enough to, like, the point we are at now. Like, they
don't
need to know nothing.
I'm not saying, like, oh, bring them in. I'm just saying, like, I am not the only person in the world, y'all.
Okay, well, sometimes it feels like that. Okay, so I'm really excited to have Hilly next episode with us, and I can't wait. I'm getting like just looking at the upcoming episodes.
Yeah.
Whew, boy.
Oh my gosh.
We're like Yeah, we're so close to halfway through this book. I can't wait. Okay, moving on. Emails. I was going to open those up. Let me do that. These are the sounds I make when I make sounds.
When I make sounds.
Okay. No, like when I'm doing something, I can't just like
I know.
do it in silence. I gotta like give it sound effects.
Of course, you know.
Okay, so the first email is from Victoria. Greetings from Germany 3.0. Let's see how long I will keep this up.
Oh my gosh.
So, hello, I hope you don't mind me dropping by again. I have 3 random thoughts / topics I would like to mention. Recently, you guys were talking about bombs being found in Europe, and I can confirm that at least in Germany, I have no experience with other countries, it is relatively common. I can remember about a dozen bomb finds near where I live, but I only had to be evacuated once while the bomb was being defused. Only once.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
This is so mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
Okay.
More like mind diffusing.
Okay. You got stop. No.
What?
Kibosh on this. Okay. In many cases, it turns out not to be a bomb at all, but just some junk. But you can never be too careful.
Damn.
I'm glad everybody's being careful because, yeah, be careful out on those streets, Victoria. We don't trust them. Okay, second, I would like to recommend a website / map for you to use while reading or watching Game of Thrones. And you may already be familiar with it. What I like about this map is that you can select a character or episode or more, and one or more characters you're interested in. No, sorry. What I like about this map is that you can select a chapter or episode and one or more characters you're interested in, and then it shows where the characters are in that chapter / episode and what path they took from the beginning of the story to get there. You can also search for towns. Cool. It might be risky if you want to avoid spoilers, but otherwise it's excellent. It is excellent. I spent way too much time that I did not have just like
browsing.
Browsing basically.
Gosh.
And it is a little risky for somebody like the interface is not so high level that it's easy to spoil yourself. Like you might be trying to like change the settings to like be what you want them to be. Mm-hmm. And in doing that, you might accidentally spoil yourself. So I'm not going to give you access to it, but I might over Zoom someday or like when we're in person, like share my screen and like show you what it looks like because it's really great. Okay. Third, I also have a book series recommendation. Codex Alera by Jim Butcher. It has a lot of similarities to Game of Thrones. Political intrigue, war fighting, multi-POV, set in a medieval scenario, aka no modern technology, so you might like it. The main differences are that there's a lot more magic, even though it's multi-POV, you have a clear main character. Since I'm terrible at summarizing, here's the description of the first book. For 1,000 years, the people of Alera have united against the aggressive and threatening races that inhabit the world, using their unique bonds with the Furies, elementals of earth, fire, water, wood, and metal. But all in the remote Calderon Valley. The boy Tavi struggles with his lack of fury crafting. At 15, he has no wind fury to help him fly, no fire fury to light the lamps. Yet, as the Alaron's most savage enemy, the Marat horde, returns to the valley, Tavi's courage and resourcefulness will be a power greater than any fury, one that could turn the tides of war.
Damn.
Whew. This is I came across this TikTok recently where it was like somebody was showing what it's like jumping into a new fantasy world and you're just like bombarded with all these new terms and you're like, wait, what?
Oh me for
so
the
that
last
sounds
book and a half.
Yeah. But you're getting caught up.
I'll say.
You should listen to yourself when you, like, at the beginning you were like, I don't know. I mean, you're still like, I don't know, but like a little less frequently. Okay, anyway, this series sounds really cool, Victoria. Although I do have beef with Jim Butcher.
Oh?
I started reading his series, Dresden Files. It's also a fantasy series set in modern times, which actually really intrigued me. But he's got this like real sexist way of writing. Like, there's no other way to explain it. The way, like, any female character, it's just, he's always just like, boobs, 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 boobs. It like really got to me. I got to like book 3 and then I kind of like stopped. So I will put this on my TBR and we'll see. No promises, okay? Thank you for the recommendation. Have you read the Dresden Files? What do you think? Not you, Victoria. You like looked behind you.
No, I looked behind me because my mom called me. But it was at the perfect time that you said it, so it sounded like I was responding to you.
No, yeah. So, yeah. As always, I look forward to your next podcast episode. Best wishes, Victoria. Thank you, Victoria. This was a great email.
I don't know why I sang that, but like, thank you so much.
Why not? Okay, next up, we have another email from our lovely Mots. This time it is titled "No Subject in Parentheses." So Mott says, "Hello there. I figured I should probably wait at least one episode before writing you another email." Awkward pause. So anyway, here's my longest email to date.
Oh my gosh. I love the personality in these emails. It's my favorite.
1, hearing Nuv talk about their experience going back and listening to the earlier episodes of the podcast is so fascinating to me. Firstly, because whenever I become a fan of something, a podcast or a YouTuber, etc., I get so invested in behind the scenes stuff and everything that goes into the production and whatever. Yeah, I know I'm weird. It's fine. We all do that, I feel like.
That's like...
Yeah, that's like...
Because you just,
that's how
you get so obsessed that you want to, like, be involved in everything, right? Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Here's a fun fact for you, Mots. Did you know that we recorded the first Catelyn chapter in Game of Thrones twice, and the first Daenerys chapter thrice? 3 times.
Because we kept, like... We, like, literally
going off and, like, not
up, and we had to keep redoing it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it just sounded terrible. And this was also the point where I was, like, really being harsh on, like, I was like, it has to be perfect or it can't be published kind of thing, which I have gotten over, thankfully.
Yes.
But
we've gotten over that a little too much now.
I was, like, organizing all my recordings, and I, like, came like across the folder that is like re-recorded, and I'm like, wait, re-recorded? What is this? And I open it up and it's like
that. And then one time, I don't remember which chapter this was for, but we lost our recording, didn't we? So we had to re-record that one too.
I think it was either one of those, because those were the only 2 that I found in our
So I think one of those we re-recorded because...
But maybe... No, but then it wouldn't be the re-recorded because we didn't have the old recording.
But maybe...
So something happened somewhere.
Yeah, something happened somewhere. And, like, I remember, like, we just, like, lost it on one of our ends and then we had to redo it, which was a thing.
Anyway, so there you go. So secondly, because I find the level of perfectionism that Nuv describes so painfully relatable. So this is why he liked going back and listening to me talk about going back and listening to us talk. Yeah. Obsessing over editing mistakes and typos and even the tiniest grammatical errors is something with which I am frustratingly familiar. Aww. See, I couldn't even bring myself to end that sentence with familiar with.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one, but also I'm sorry you have to deal with that as well. Oh, at least I have a buddy in my suffering, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 2. I love the fact that Theon's ship is named Sea Bitch because it so perfectly fits the person who now sails it.
Oh my gosh.
Number 3. This Tyrion chapter is one of the biggest reasons why Grand Maester Pycelle is one of my least favorite characters in this series, and he hits a level of gross that makes me wish there had actually been any goats so that Shaga could have fed them his manhood.
Oh my god.
Grand Eunuch Pycelle sounds pretty good to me. Okay.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Yeah. I 100% agree with Brian. I love a good villain, and Littlefinger is definitely up there for me as well. Also, Podrick is an absolute delight, as somewhat was witnessed in this chapter that we just read. Yeah. Okay, number 5.
Wait, remind me, was Brian or Mott's the one who said Podrick was one of their favorite characters?
Brian,
okay.
I think. Yes, I think that was Brian. I can't remember who did Mott say was his favorite. And I think I didn't share that because that was going to be spoilery. Yeah. So moving on. Number 5. I would absolutely love a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium Discord server. I have always had an awesome time interacting with Nuv, and I'd love to interact with Harmeth as well, and also other fans. Well, good news, Mods, because I just set up a Discord server for us with the help of my dear brother this very afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll put that link in the show notes and everybody go join. Yay! Let's talk it out. And you can talk to Harmeth.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
who
guys,
I will also add to it.
Join the server. Do it. Every single one of you. Even if this is your first
foray into Discord?
No, first episode. Even if this is like, you clicked on a random episode, this one happened to be it, okay? People, join the Discord server right now. Do it right now before the episode ends, because you're gonna forget. You're gonna be like, oh, I'll do it later. And then you'll forget. Do it right now. Do it. Bye.
Okay, wow. All right. Such aggressive plugging. Okay, calm down. Although, okay, so I'm still working on, like, it's mostly organized, but basically no spoilers anywhere except I will have one channel where you can talk any spoilers you want. So even if, like, so Harmeth will have access to all, like, I'm thinking like 3 channels, 3 channels in total, one for spoilers, one without, and then one for just like random talk about life and things, So Harmeth will have access to the life chat and the non-spoilers chat, but I don't want to see any of those, like, hidden spoilers, any like hint, sly comments, none of that. I will boot you. I mean it. Seriously. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, returning to Motz's email. Number 6. Yes, I totally forgot to include an emailed subject last time because we were like, hey, Motz, step it up. However, just the words no subject in parentheses is definitely something I could have put as my email subject. So therefore, this email subject is going to be no subject in parentheses.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you both for being your awesome selves, and thank you to Now for taking time out of their words. Thank you both for being your awesome selves, and thank you to Nav for taking time out of their day to respond to my emails and messages, and for being A Song of Ice and Fire conversation partner. I really appreciate y'all.
Oh my god.
We appreciate you, Motz.
Thank you so much,
just
Motz.
The best.
We love your emails.
And I love chatting with you in our DMs. So, because like, we just like went through like our ideal the other day, like ideal person on the Iron Throne, ideal people in the small council. It was such a fun conversation.
Oh my gosh. Iconic.
Yeah. I'm hoping we'll have more conversations like that in the Discord. Finally, Mott ends with, I hope you both have a wonderful, relatively asthma attack-free day.
Oh my. Oh my.
Best wishes, Motts. Thank you for that delightful email.
Gosh, thank you, Motts.
Okay, and then hold on. So Victoria emailed again, asking me who my favorite characters were, and shared her favorite characters. Oh, sorry, Victoria. Did I just assume your pronouns or have you told me your pronouns? I'm so sorry. Please tell me your pronouns. So Victoria said that their not their pronouns, their favorite characters are Arya. I won't tell you all the reasons why, but you know, we have plenty of reasons to love Arya. And Sansa, because, you know, I love the sister duo.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Victoria writes, I could go on and on in terms of like how many characters they like, as Martin has created many wonderful characters, in parentheses, John fangirl over here. So you've got a buddy
fellow
in
John
that
fangirl. Oh my gosh, love that.
Yeah. And then Victoria
John,
also added,
we stand John. Good. I'm glad to hear that other people like John too. It like registered like.
Hey, remember, I like John, but I don't like John because I'm too much like John.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so Victoria also added a small note to Ola's comment. Ola's email we read last time or the time before, I can't remember. For me, a book only becomes a great book when I can feel for and with the characters. Thus, they don't stay characters for me, but become people I know. And in my real life, I dislike or like people, even if that usually doesn't change anything for them. In books, this is reinforced because I judge not only their actions, but also their thoughts, which I thought was a really good point, you know? Like, we're in the heads of these characters as opposed to, we never know what anybody else is thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe Ola's reading style is different, but I can understand Harmut and you hating or loving characters in more extreme ways. We are all about the extremes.
We are just very extreme people.
Not really. Extreme feelings, but not extreme
actions or activities.
Politics. Yeah. Being so invested in the characters and the story makes me sad at the end of the books because I know that I won't have them in my life anymore, if that makes sense. But luckily, I don't mind rereading books, so that's great. Yay!
I mean, I have a blessing and a curse where I do not remember things, as most of us know at this point, so I could reread anything, ever, as many times, because I will probably forget most of the details.
Well, that is what a lovely curse to have. I don't know if it's a curse, but like... It's a
curse because then people are like, you don't remember anything. How can you say it's your like favorite? Or like, how can you say, you know, people are very like, you like that thing, but you don't even know anything. And I'm like, yeah, but I remember how it made me feel. Just because I don't remember specifically.
I remember the feeling,
yeah. So
that's for sure a real thing. Yeah, that's a good way to say that. Like, I may not remember the details, but I remember the feelings I had. So
and
I like that.
Like we just said, my feelings are very extreme. So there we go.
Yay for extreme feelings. Okay. Is that everything? I think it is. So everyone, join us on Discord.
Yes, do it right now.
So looking forward to chatting with everybody.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
You can, of course, still send us emails, popculturesymposium@gmail.com. And our Instagram is at popsymposium. No, it's at popculturesymposium. Otherwise, until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.